Are we on? Hello and welcome to my channel, Clear Waters, which is also your channel. You're always welcome. Today, I'm gonna be talking about God is not real. And today I'm gonna do a session also in Spanish, just because I have been people asking me if I speak Spanish on the chats while I am live streaming. Para cualquier persona que está viendo este live stream, yo hablo español y puedo en este live stream responder en español. So, I'm just going to check the live stream. Before I do anything else, just to make sure. Oh, my eyes. Okay. So, I think audio is good. Let's test. Pioyo SA, how are you? It's me again. I'm like a virus, I don't go away. I think, okay, so we have audio, good. Just checking, make sure that everything is working fine with this live stream. I tend to make mistakes when I live stream. So everything looks good. Everything good, everything good. How are you, Pioyo? I'm just getting some stuff ready here. Okay, so this live stream, why am I cut off here? What's wrong? What's wrong? There you go. I was a bit out of frame. Perfect. Hey, Pioyo, still vibing that Shulu theology. You like it, huh? Like I said, Pioyo, that's the new God in town, man, taking over. But anyways, I want to talk a little bit. Just let me turn that music off. I cannot concentrate with the music on. So why I'm saying that God is not real? Para cualquier cosa, también estoy haciendo este live stream en español. Si alguien me quiere preguntar algo en español. I'm doing this live stream also in Spanish. I'm just testing this because I have a lot of people ask me questions in Spanish, maybe because I'm in Panama. Pioyo, I'm glad you found it funny. In a way, it's supposed to be funny, but in another way, I'm trying to make a point about anybody can make up their own gods and can be an invisible God, and anybody can make up one. Don't have to prove it. If anybody has a question, you can ask me on the chat, or if you want to call in, there is a link that you can call in and have a conversation. Si alguien quiere hacerme preguntas en español, en este live stream estoy respondiendo en español también. So basically, I'm saying that God is not real. Why? I want to say that most likely it's not. Sometimes I say things, um, unfortunately, um, trying to wake people up, like saying God is not real. Most likely, He's not real, but I cannot feed the whole entire. God might not be real as a title. Oh, the link has expired. Man, thank you very much for your kindness. Thank you for giving me feedback. Let me see if I can refresh. Set this link to never expire. Oh, I had it off. There you go. So I have a new link. I'm going to paste it on the chat. So I have a new link. Um, okay, here's a link. And I'm pinning that message. Pioyo, man, thank you very much. That was very kind of you. Appreciate it. I had no idea that it was expired. So I just put it as not to expire anymore because I'm interested in hearing other points of views. I could be wrong about my thoughts, about my points of view. I could be wrong about my own experience. So I like to learn. I like to test. I like to explore. I like to discover. I have this appetite to learn, to get better, to improve. Actually, probably innocently, I want to make this world a better place to live. And that's why I have this channel to promote honesty, transparency, and decency, to take care of us as human beings. So if anybody is interested, you can ask me questions via the chat or you can call in via that link, Discord link. En este live stream estoy hablando español también. Si alguien me quiere llamar en español o escribir algo en español, le voy a responder en español. Una prueba que estoy haciendo para ver si a alguien le interesa conversar en español. So I'm saying that also um, I'm doing this live stream. I heard some bell ringing. What was that? Let me check on the Discord. Where did it go? There it is. Oh, I have some people. Wow, this is nice. Okay, please bear with
Hey,
me.
dude.
Who's this? Pioyo?
Yeah, that's me. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
yes, awesome. Okay, bear with me just for 1 minute because this is the first time I'm doing this. So
Of course.
I want to put it on the live stream. Give me just 1 second. I think it's here, Discord scene. Okay,
Yeah,
so
no worry. Got your back.
all right, Discord. So we put Discord and we select Discord. There you go. So, um, just I don't know if other people can hear you.
Let me say something so they can say. They can ask. Hi, everyone. Can anyone hear? Type one in the chat if you can hear me.
I'm gonna jump on the. Actually, let me check on my phone. If anybody out there can hear Piojo, this is the. I apologize. This is the first time I'm doing this. I just want to make sure that everybody can hear him. Let me make it louder. I just noticed that the volume was down. Okay, I know how to check it. Give me just 1 second. I'm gonna open the live stream on my channel.
Yeah.
Okay, it's connecting.
Okay,
Okay,
I know
can you
how
try
to check
saying
it. Give me
something?
just 1 second.
I'm gonna open the live stream
Yeah. Hi, guys.
on my channel.
How are you? Yeah.
Okay, it's connecting.
Okay,
Okay,
I
can
know
you
how to
try
check
saying
it. Give me
something?
just 1 second.
I'm gonna open the live stream
Yeah. Hi, guys.
on my channel.
How are you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I can hear you on the live stream. Okay, it's connecting.
Well,
Beautiful.
that's great.
Okay, can you try
So,
saying
how are
something?
you, man?
I'm
How's it?
doing great.
Yeah.
You
Hi, guys.
know, with health,
How are you? Yeah.
everything is great. Awesome. Yeah, and I
That's
can.
awesome.
Do you have something open because I can hear myself on the background?
No, just this app. You of the link. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
they went
from your
away.
own stream, but I don't see no echo.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. I can hear you now clearly.
Yeah. So your link is working now.
Yes, and thank you very much for pointing it out. I had no idea. This is actually the first time again that I'm doing this. So also appreciate you calling, taking the time to call. Would you like to talk
No
about the
problem.
subject about God not being real or most likely not being real?
Yeah, sure, man. I want a question for you. Um, since I think I remember talking to me, I was atheist for a time too, right? So when you are atheist, you say, okay, there's no God, and we are subjects of causality, right? Just one cause bumping into other and end up in us, right? I think that's a point to start.
Okay.
And then why do you care then? Why do you care? Or you why do you put work in your channel and and try to influence anything? Because if it's causality, what do you have to gain from that?
Okay, Pedro, thank you very much for your question. Actually, I find that particular question very interesting. You know, after being a believer, not only a simple believer, but I participated in church a lot. I read the Bible a lot, almost the whole entire Bible. And so I spent a lot of time praying. I was in with God, closer to God, you can say, for years. But I started
Really
asking
nice.
questions. I started reading the Bible and I started to notice some things that I didn't notice before. And because my natural way that I am, I'm very analytical. So I wanted to get closer to God. I wanted to understand God. I didn't like the part of praying and never hearing God. That always bothered me. So now, today, I am not a believer, not anymore. I actually have come to understand that believing in God is a problem for humanity because it always promotes
Mm.
solutions for all kinds of problems outside of yourself, and that is promoting um, like a problem. You cannot find solutions and you should not
Like
be
what?
finding solutions through an invisible God, is problematic. And that I think, and it's my point of view, that is one of the biggest problems we have in humanity right now is the beliefs in gods.
Uh-huh. Like what? Give me one example of problem that humanity has from believing God.
For example, I have given this example in my live streams. If you have a group of people in an island and they have never been exposed to a god or the information of a god, and this person comes to this island, there's, I don't know, probably 2,000 people in that island living, having their own lives, problems, joys and whatever. And you introduce a God or the information of a God to these people, and you come back 1 year later to this island. Let me ask you, what do you think you're gonna find out when you come back, let's say 1 year after introducing a God to this society? What do you think could happen?
That depends on the theology you introduced, right?
Let's say Christianity. I don't know. I'm not sure which religion, if you believe in God or which God, but let's say
And
Christianity. Let's say
if you introduce
Christianity.
Christianity,
Yeah.
if you introduce Christianity, you will come back 1 year after. There will be five different. And how many inhabitants? Tell me a number so I can adapt the answer.
Let's say 10,000 people. Big island.
Okay, so it'll be 500 different churches, every single one saying the other going to hell, and they're all charging what's the name that you say in Christians? In Portuguese is dízimo, like to pay to pay the church 10%.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Diezmo, diezmo. But
Yes.
okay, yeah. You
Yeah,
you.
you get 500 denominations, each will bickering with the other.
So can we agree on something that this that you call denominations are gonna be people separating, right?
Bickering. Yeah, bickering with each other.
Yeah. Why do you
Uh,
think? Why do you think that would happen? Why? What would cause that?
yeah, because you said Christianity, that's inevitable consequence.
Wait a moment. Wait a moment. What in Christianity specifically will cause this separation between this group of people, and they will create their own small groups? What part of the Christianity would do that?
Yeah. So I told you last time, right? I was born in a Christian place, Brazil, no? And I was raised Christian, and I worked close to the church a long time. I worked close to the church for well, let's say a long time. I don't want to put too much information out. And I saw this bickering from up close, and I saw what you saw in the scriptures also. I say, okay, there's some shady stuff going on here, right? And um, but now I'm a Muslim, right? Alhamdulillah. For the a few years back, I understood what Islam was, and I adopted Islam because it has a superior frame of theology, right? So all these holes and stuff, kind of Islam is kind of Christianity 2.0, right? It corrects all problems of Christianity.
But
So when you ask me, as a Muslim now, what the problem I saw in Christianity back then, the problem is that it's highly interpretative. So the everything is interpreting what is not really written, and it ends up inevitably with people interpreting differently and accusing each other because there's no higher interpretation. Everybody's just guessing.
okay, allow me please to stop you right there because you gave a lot of information. I have to agree with you in that sense that having this information and you can interpret it. You have 10 preachers and they're going to interpret different ways, probably the same verses to their convenience. You know, I have seen that myself at church. When I was at church, I'm like, man, what he's saying that in that way. I heard the opposite thing last week. We're talking about pretty much the same verses. Yes, I had to agree with you, but wouldn't you agree that there's something else that could be causing this division between what this was a big one group of people before? I think there's
Oh,
something else.
depends, man.
Go ahead.
Depends on how this group was before, right? Because there's even Christianity, there's highly benefits depending on how this group was behaving before. It could promote some benefits, but go for your. Tell me what you have in your mind. What
Yes,
do you see there?
Pioyo, thank you for what you're saying, man. You're smart. I can tell that you are poking through things, that are worth it in my point of view. But it is my understanding, my experience, my point of view that the even better way to create division in a group of people, let's call it civilized group of people, okay, is not only Christianity, but is the introduction of a God or the information about a God to a group of people.
Yeah, that I think you are overstepping a little bit the argument. If you allow me to disagree with you,
Sure.
because it very much depends on how was these people before and which type of theology you are introducing, right?
Just not to create too many variants, let's call it a civilized, group of people in the island.
What is civilized? Because pardon me to say, I don't want to offend you. You come from the United States, maybe.
I was born in the States, yes.
Yeah. So I don't want to offend you or anything, but the European, I'm European myself. So the European and the Americans, which are kind of a branch from the Europeans, they have a terrible track record of just genociding and killing everybody that doesn't agree with them, right? So you call civilization, right? I don't know what you mean, but it's probably you mean people like you.
Okay, yeah, that's what I said. That's why I said we can spend the whole night creating different variants of societies and people. No, people that are
No,
not
no,
killing
no,
each
no.
other,
You got me wrong, brother. No, no, you got me wrong. I said you use a word. The word you use is civilized, and
L-
you have a very bad track record. Not you personally, but your culture. I would say mine too, because I'm European. Our culture has a bad track record to call uncivilized anyone that's on top of our oil.
Yes, yes, yes. But Pioyo, you're creating another subject. Now we're gonna categorize different levels or different definitions of societies based on regions or
All right,
countries and
all right, all
societies.
right, all
So
right.
let's not go there. Let's just stay with one society that they have learned not to be killing each other and try to produce things in order to elevate each people in the island. Because they know they are trapped in an island.
Give me one example of civilization that reached that without a god.
Again, you're going somewhere else.
Yeah,
You're
no,
going.
I want to make you think.
No,
I
no,
want to
but
make you think now
Pioyo,
because
you're
no
changing the subject.
civilization. All right, no, you are making like a square circle kind of example, right? And I'm just making you think right now. There is no civilization that reached this level of peace without a God, without theological morality. There's no example in human history. Maybe because in human history, everybody, every time, always have believed in God, but your example have never existed. So it's really hard to argue from there to make any case. But I
It,
can
it,
give you a real case, okay? I will give
it,
you a real case.
but before you do that, Pioyo, it seems to me, and I admit that I could be wrong, that you are probably trying to squeeze in some of your beliefs and the way you see life through your religion about this simple, very simple example. Look how long we have spent in this very simple example because you keep introducing variants into this equation. I'm just saying, man, can you imagine, make it up in your mind that there's a group of people living in an island, they have fights, one murder another person, but mainly they try to help each other. Some get down the coconuts and they spread them. Some other people plant things. You know what I mean?
You mean like you mean like people with their own religion, like the Indians, like the what you call Indians, right? The people in South America that was terminized, right? They are not godless. They have their own God. But is this what you mean, or
Okay,
do you mean some atheist utopia?
no, look, I'm gonna make it even more simpler in my point of view.
Yeah. So that
Just imagine a family, just a family, dad, mom,
yes.
daughter, and son. That's it. No island, no 10,000 people, no Indians, nothing. And these people are not, they have never been part of any religion. They have lived life as not defined atheists, just not interested. And then one day the son comes believing in a God because someone introduced him with the information of one God. Okay? You come back to this family 6 months later, and this family is not the same anymore. I'm giving you an example that happens
Hmm.
around the
What
world.
happened in this family in your example?
Again, not to introduce variants. Now, before they
No, no,
were
no Verison. I'm just riding your wave now. So this family, what happened? What is the outcome you're seeing?
6 months later, the kid is gone. He fought with the mom and dad because they could not believe, he could not convince them that God of the Bible was real. He got upset and he left because he saw his dad and mom as being taken by the devil. This happens around the world all the time. So that family is destroyed,
Yeah.
courtesy of introduction of a God. It happens to family. It happens to spouses. It happens to countries.
Yeah. Again, right? You did not introduce a God. You introduced American Christianity. That's different than introducing a God.
How do you separate the God from Christianity?
Yeah, it's easy, man. Like you are just a very new civilization with a very new type of theology. You know, just look at the rest of the world. Nobody believes what you believe.
No, no, no. But I think probably I'm not making my point clear. When I say
No, you are. You're just not
introduce,
understanding me.
just let me clarify this point. When I say introducing a God, is what I'm saying is introducing the information about a God. It just happens
Yeah,
that it's
and
Christianity.
you are no, you are unable to. How is the word in English? Let me think. To separate yourself. Maybe there is a better word, but I think you got the idea. You are unable, as I see, to separate yourself, the word God, from the version of God you know. And I'm telling you, your version of God leads to this kind of outcomes that you are foreseeing. But that's only because your version of God is wrong. It's like saying, it's like getting a you are now saying milk doesn't exist, but you are milking a bull, and you are trying to milk this bull. Sorry for maybe I should try another example.
What's muke?
Um, but
What's muke?
milk, milk,
Oh, milk, milk.
milk
Okay, okay, okay,
to get
okay.
milk. Yeah, sorry about. So maybe I
No
should go
worries.
for another example that is gonna get gross. But you know, understand, you are milking the wrong animal, and you are concluding that cows do not have milk. It's just because you are doing it wrong, you know? Of course, it's not milk because you are milking it wrong. Your concept is wrong, and everything goes wrong from there.
So what specific concept are you saying that is wrong with this example that I just gave you, providing information of a God, in this case, labeled as
Christian,
Christianity?
no? Yeah, most of what happens most of the time when you get like this Bible thumper, nah, is the old Bible stumper. I don't know what is the correct way.
Bible
So
stumper?
this highly Bible stumper.
Oh,
So you
yeah,
get this
Bible
kind of
scholars.
no, no. Like I think it's those guys like this fundamentalist, redneck
Ap-
kind of Christians that
apologists.
they no, not apologies, like really sometimes sincere people, but they go like throwing the books on the head of everybody and calling everybody possessed by a demon just because they got disagreed, they disagreed with something, and then every other church is possessed by a demon, and they keep the whole night exorcising chairs because they are cannot really think, right? This is the type of Christianity you have. It's not even the type of Christianity the Brazilians have. Like your type of Christianity is nasty, man. Like in Brazil, at least they see like the poor, the God has some favoring to the poor, like the sincere poor people, like the ones who are simple at heart. They manifest these beautiful characteristics. The Brazilian Christianity sees them as godly people, like people of truth, people of um, of value. The American Christianity is kind of, if born rich Christianity, my God is rich. So if you are poor, it's because God cursed you. So you have a very nasty metastasy of Christianity in your culture. But that's why you get all these messed up conceptions.
So
All,
so
but that's why your family, in your example, broke up
so let
because you
me
got a messed up theology.
right, let me see if I understand correctly. This is a question, okay? Are you saying that by introducing to a family the information of Allah, this type of examples never happen?
They should not happen. No.
Wow,
When you say never,
there's a big difference between never and shouldn't.
no, because you always had you always have people processing information differently. But the Islamic theology, when applied to a family, it leads to better families.
Wow, but there's a problem with that, Pioyo.
Like if you have in the example you
Go
Mhm.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go
What's the
ahead.
problem? Like if you have a family, right? And the family uh, if the father, let's start with the father, but it could be the son. Let's say the son. Your example was the son, right? You have the family, the son becomes Muslim. When the son becomes Muslim, the orientation of the Islamic theology is that God should be worshipped, and you need to give the rights back to your family. So the Islamic theology teaches the people that you have rights from people, and people have rights from you. I, Pioyo, have rights from you. So you owe me respect, you owe me this, you owe me that. And you and I owe you respect. And if I take your right, I'm wrong. And if you take my right, you're wrong. And then, well, the first thing that happens when you introduce Islamic theology to this son is that he will make the question, what are the rights of my father? The rights of the father is to be respected, to be kindly, to be listened to be obeyed to a certain extent. So if the father says, clear your room, your it is his right. You need to do that because it is his right. You should do that. You should respect. You should connect to your brothers. You should call that brother that doesn't talk to you anymore. You don't have the right to not to talk to him. So you go and fix that. You need to fix that with your mom. If your mom is angry, you cannot talk back to her. You can understand that, okay, she doesn't understand the theology. She is saying because she's angry, you don't have the right to talk back. You need to bear patiently. You need to bear patiently. Patience, 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 patience. And it will lead to maybe an outcome where the father will get so upset because his son got so better and he's so envious and so uh, black in his heart that he will have a fight with the son, or he will see the son grow and say, mashallah, I want to become Muslim, or at least say, you know what, I don't believe in Islam, but I like the results of Islam.
Pioyo, I'm gonna go back to the first step before you told me this information. When I told you, when I asked you that if with Islam, without Allah, these things never happen in a family, and you told me it shouldn't. So can we agree that there's some houses, some homes that are get destroyed by introduction of any God?
No,
So why you
no.
say
This this home that
why you say it shouldn't? Why you didn't say no? It's not possible with Islam to happen in a. Why didn't you say that then?
well, your I think this example only makes sense if we are talking statistically bigger numbers than one example, because in one example could happen anything, right? If you go for one example, even without the introduction of a God, the father can kill himself. Right? It's too open, right? You need to go with some tendencies and some averages, right?
You know, Pioyo, I feel that when I ask a question that puts the bullseye in the middle, you say something that moves it a little bit to the left, and now we are approaching from another side, from another angle. I ask you a very simple and specific question. It happens when you introduce the God of the Bible to a family. It had destroyed families. It had
Yeah.
destroyed marriages. We know that. You know that's that's easily provable.
Let, but let's be fair, it saved some too, you know? Even if I'm not a Christian, let's be fair, it saved some too. We cannot just
you,
be
you
unfair. But
you're
continue.
changing. You're changing. We can talk about all the benefits and blessings about Christianity and also about Islam. We can talk about the beautiful things. We're not talking about that. You changed the bullseye again. That's what I'm saying. I find it kind of
No,
interesting.
I'm just correcting your wrong statement, that's all. I'm not changing the target.
What part of my statement is wrong? Because I'm
You
asking a
said that
question. I'm asking questions. I'm not putting out a statement.
no, you answered the question. You said that introducing a God breaks a family, and I said you are wrong. Sometimes break a family, sometimes fix a family,
But in the
even
cases,
Christianity.
in the let's say that 100 times it fixes a family and 2 times breaks them. Why does that happen? I'm on your side. I'm trying to make the religions make beautiful. 100 people, 100 families, 98 are beautiful after religion, and two destroy the family. Why could that happen?
Well, the truth to that statement, or to that reality of breaking families, is
Mm-hmm.
that sometimes, like if you married someone, you have some basis for that relationship, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe that basis is completely wrong, right? You one person is into some person is into frequenting some places, doing some things, and you were in agreement before, right? Imagine like a dysfunctional relationship to
Mm-hmm.
begin with, like
Mm-hmm.
some some kind of toxic dysfunctional thing.
Mm-hmm.
They were both toxic dysfunctional when they met and they start the relationship. But sometimes if one of the person moves on from that toxicity, this cannot work anymore. But that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
But you just created a variant.
No, I answered your question.
No, no, you didn't.
I
You
answered
created
you why.
you. No, no, you created a variant. If you want to make it a family, that one spouse has problems, and then when the God comes in or the information of a God, this person, was not good for this family. No, you're creating a variant because there are good families, that are destroyed by the introduction of the information of a God. If you want to create a variant where the dad is not a good person, that's another side of the conversation, but you're deviating from the original. There are good families that are being destroyed by the introduction of the information of one of these gods. Why do we have to go
Do you think
around
so?
this again and again?
I think it's flying a little bit over your head, to be honest. I think you didn't really get what I said.
I understand what you're
But
saying, but you are
let's
right.
just let's just
You
put like
allow
this, you know?
allow me one moment. You are right
Yeah.
about what you are saying. You are right, but you are right over here. We're not talking about that. We're talking about this. So you, in a way, are deviating from what I'm asking you. I don't know if you're doing it on purpose or you're doing it unconsciously.
Yeah, maybe I am doing it on purpose. I'm trying to fix your example in a sense because I see your example a little bit lacking a soul, not in the religious sense, but your example is a little bit without colors. So I'm putting colors where I see that need colors to get the discussion flowing.
Yeah,
But
that what.
if you allow me maybe to move a little bit from your example and go back a little bit to your first attempt, like the island stuff, right?
Yes,
The
sure.
island stuff. Okay. So let me move to that. So the deserts of Arabia in the year 600. That's a real example now. I'm not saying some hypothetical. This happened, right? You can just see history. It happened. The deserts of Arabia in the year 600 were uh, a nasty collection of nasty tribes warring each other about blood disputes, from revenge, from you killed this, you killed that. They were burying their own children alive because they were kind of monster human beings kind of civilization. They were alcoholic, dysfunctional in every level. Women were not even humans in their eyes. Children were just nothing. And war was reality. No law, uh, a failed place in any sense you can imagine.
Okay.
You put 100 years later, a strong society with strong family values, with peace among tribes, and an empire that expanded from the west of Africa to almost China, united in a purpose. Now, that's a good example, isn't it? The golden age of Islam. the age where civilization itself invented medicine. Did you know it came from those people? Science came from those people in that age, the age that the some ignorant call dark age, because it was dark age in Europe, but was golden age in Africa and the Muslim Empire. Science was developed by a Muslim. The scientific method was developed by a Muslim. Algorithm is the name Arab. Al, and then there's an Arab name. That's the guy who did it. Optics was created by a for a Muslim by that area. Medicine, almost recently, the guideline, the main book of medicine was from the Muslim Empire, Baghdad in that time. And that all came from a shitty tribe, stupid people that had no orientation whatsoever. Revelation came to one of them, and that shitty group of tribes became an empire which people could travel days without fear of being robbed because law and peace was established throughout that region. And in one particular year, they tried to send charity and they couldn't find a poor person to give charity to. So the charity came back to the temple. Isn't that a good example? And that's real, by the way. You can argue that it fall apart after because it did. You can argue a lot of things. But what I just stated to you are historic facts that no one in your group learned in the school on purpose.
Pero I notice, I let you talk and I listen. I'm listening very carefully to everything you're saying. And it's not because I think you're wrong. It's not because I think I'm right or wrong either. I notice a pattern. Whenever I present a simple example that could be real, and in the second example is real, that are good families that have been destroyed with religion, you tend to present a different scenario where there should be a problem in order to make the equation a little bit more to the side of the negative. You tend to do that, and it's understanding. For me, I understand a little bit on why you could be doing this, because in a certain way, and I could be wrong, but I'm noticing while listening to you, there's gotta be a situation a little bit to the tendency of the bad side, because then when something is bad, something good is presented. So you need to create this polarity in order to make a point. And that, in my point of view, is creating more complication, more variance when you're trying to unclutter something that will be good to understand. If you allow me, I'm gonna try it a third time, okay? If you have two friends,
No,
okay?
no, brother, we're not moving for that topic. You need to come back to that topic and you need to tell me from all those statements that I made about medicine being invented by them, by this empire of like barefoot, stupid people overthrowing Persia and Rome together and become this huge colossus.
But
Was
Pioyo,
that
allow me.
anything but fact?
I listen to you, okay? I
Were
notice
there anything but fact?
you're doing basically what I get sometimes with people from Christianity. They go from having a conversation to preaching. Because if I make you an example that it cannot be any more simple, that if you have two friends that do not believe in God and you present to one of them a God and that friendship ends, Why would you want to make it a more complicated? Hey, maybe one was a bad friend. Maybe one was in not very good things. No. The main point is,
Brother,
Pioyo,
not,
just allow me
I'm
to
talking
finish.
about an empire.
Hold on, hold
No,
on.
no, I need to interrupt you there.
You
I'm
know,
talking about an
hold on,
empire
hold on,
that
hold on,
went from
hold
Africa
on,
to
hold,
China.
hold
That's
on,
not one guy, man. That's like, that's the whole world.
hold
Minus,
on,
I don't know who else, man.
hold on.
That's the
It
whole
could be,
world.
it
Like,
could
that's
be,
the world.
it could be an empire, okay, of 5 million or 1 billion people. But that empire started with one person or two people. You in that empire have individuals, human beings, and each of those people take their own decisions. So I think it will be valuable to understand an individual in that empire what is thinking and how he came to the conclusion to join this empire or accept this religion. Wouldn't it be worth it to understand one people what that person thinks?
I already told you. The guy gets worried about giving the rights of your neighbor. Everybody gets worried about giving the rights of your fellow man, and things start working.
No,
No? You say no? Explain me
no.
why then.
Look, Pioyo, I am not gonna try to convince you by asking you questions about anything because it's not my duty. I don't have to change your thought because I
No, I don't. I
respect
don't need any said no. Just tell me why no.
I respect what you believe. I don't try to change people's beliefs. But the main
No, I don't. I
problem,
don't mind. I don't. I don't. I don't care about if you want to change my opinion or not. You said no. I said an argument. Said no. Why? Tell me why. What's no? Tell me your logic. What's your logic?
if you introduce,
I said
go
no. No,
ahead,
it doesn't matter what I introduced.
go ahead.
I said, everybody starts worrying about giving the rights for the fellow neighbor, and then things starts working. And you said no. How no? What is no there? Is just
Be,
no, no, I don't want to admit, or is do you have some some logic behind your no?
how do you
Or
get
no, I cannot understand you, so no.
how do you get from a human being to take the action that you're saying that the person is taking the action to do something? How is that possible?
Brother, pay attention now because I think you missed the first time.
Okay, try it one more time.
I'll say again. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
listening. I'm
Uh,
listening.
if 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 everybody in your neighborhood
Hmm.
start worrying about giving what is right to your fellow man, not selfish feelings, like
Hmm.
giving what is due to your fellow man. All things in that neighborhood starts working better. That's a resounding yes. There is no place for no.
Wow. So I understand correctly the first time then.
So you still say no, no, no. That's no. That's not a true statement.
Pioyo, you are jumping to a
Don't make
situation.
it personal. Is it? Don't make it personal.
Mhm,
Is it a no statement still? Are you really going for no? Like, if every fellow human being is worried about doing what's right to your neighbor,
mhm.
things don't start working better. Is this your statement? Because you're kind of
Pioyo,
looking silly right now.
Pioyo, I'm gonna throw a wrench on what you're saying. Okay?
No, no. Before you can throw everything on my face. I don't mind. The
No,
thing
no, no,
is,
no, no, no,
are you
no,
really
no,
saying
no, no,
no
no. I
to that
say
statement?
I said wrench, no face. I said wrench.
No, I understood. So no, but I'm not letting you moving from there because you're kind of being a hypocrite right now, and I want to hold your feet to the fire. Are you saying no? If I'm not saying don't even need a God for that. You're saying that if everybody in a neighborhood start worrying about your fellow man,
Hmm.
things doesn't start to work better in your view. That's your view.
Worry
Explain
about
that to me.
worry in what sense? Did you miss something there? Worry that they're
Like
gonna
you are my
get.
neighbor,
Uh
right?
huh. Uh huh.
You are my neighbor.
Mm
I cannot throw garbage on your front yard
hmm. Mm hmm.
because that's hurting your rights.
Mm hmm.
Like if you are my neighbor, I cannot steal your garage equipment when you're not looking
Mm
because
hmm.
that would be hurting your rights. If you are
Mm
my
hmm.
neighbor, you have a wife, I cannot like flirt with your wife when you're not looking or even when you are looking because would that cause trouble and would be hurting your rights. So if everybody starts worrying about giving what's due to the fellow human being, wouldn't that make a better neighborhood in that very close example?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So that's the yes I wanted to hear because otherwise doesn't mean anything this talk anymore, right? You're just saying no because you're stubborn. But yes, okay, since you agreed to
I said
this
yes.
simple point, you can now expand.
Yes, I agree with you. If everybody respects everybody else's, rights, this world could be a better place. I totally agree, 100%.
Yeah. And that's why I'm telling you what happened in Arabia in the year 600. A bunch of, sorry, the language assholes learned to respect the rights of each other, fellow men.
Why is not happening
Now,
right now?
for their perfect,
Why do you think it's not happening that much right now, in your opinion?
um, that's a topic for a very long conversation and gets very political very quick.
It shouldn't,
But
Pioyo. It
uh,
shouldn't.
no, look, you kind of understanding me, right? Uh,
I truly,
what
I'm
happened in the
listening.
second?
Pio, you see me, you see me in the camera. I'm listening to you. I'm not doing something else. I'm not looking on my phone. I truly, truly trying to understand your point. It's extremely hard when you are bypassing the most basic human mechanics in order to make a point. You are avoiding talking about the most important thing about human beings. You
I
cannot.
don't really appreciate you
It's my
interpreting that way.
it's my
How am I avoiding? Okay, okay. I don't appreciate. Period. But how am I avoiding?
is my
You made a
opinion.
complex question, right?
Is my
You
opinion.
made
I
a
could.
complex question. Why it's not working? Sorry.
Pedro, we
Let me just
cannot
finish
talk
this.
about the
So
same
you made a
time.
complex.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, yes. So you made a complex questions like why it's not working today, and I said gets political, and that would be a long answer. The
Mm-hmm.
short answer is like there were two atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and that kind of shifted the world since then. And we are kind of a new age. We are all adapting. Look at humanity technologically. 1800s, we had like steamships, and now we get like we are talking about a wireless phone through what could only be described as magic 200 years ago. So we are kind of a new wave here, right? Something big is happening. Something in our view, something prophetic is happening. Now, I don't need to be theological about that. I can only stay on what the fact is. New technologies was introduced and is shaking the core. And your country, more than anything else in the world, it's kind of pushing for a lot of shit. You bomb brown people left and right. You know, you say democracy, and then you kind of generating a problem right now. And then everything that used to work, you bombed into smithereens, and it gets political. You bomb like Japanese people, unarmed Japanese people, in a seat made of wood with an atomic bomb for nothing. And you continue to do shit. Just look around the Middle East right now. There's two aircraft carriers floating around to do what? So I don't know. If you say why it's not working today, there is a lot of introspective work that we from the West, me European included, we need to look at ourselves
the shit we are creating. We just bombed the whole Africa. You look the map of Africa is like a joke. It's like squares, like that doesn't respect ethnicity, borders, rivers, nothing. It's just like a clown work that did on Africa. It looks so silly. So we have some accountability to do ourselves Europeans. Right? EU has an extension of the European, or even like the main arm of the Europeans right now. That's why it doesn't work anymore. But I would go back mostly to the technological shift that happened. The whole mankind's kind of adapting. Nobody knows how to live with this technology and survive. And we can kind of extinguish ourselves very soon if we don't get wiser. But that doesn't change the fact that in the year 600, something marvelous happened.
Okay. Okay.
Did
I
that
heard
answer
you.
your question?
Yes, 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 of course. Answer my question. I totally see everything from a different perspective. Um, most of what you're saying is right. However, looking at things from the point
What do you
of
disagree with?
looking at things from the point of improving and making this world a better place, I would have to see what you're saying from a different approach. Totally.
Yeah, but go now. I don't mind you disagree, but you need to justify what I said. What is the part you disagree and why?
I don't disagree, that for example, the United States have done horrible things. I mean, every time I see documentaries about what happened in Japan, for example, man, it just breaks my heart. How can
Vietnam,
a group of people can be
Iraq,
so, yeah, yeah, can be
Libya,
so
list
coward.
goes and bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with you in that sense. A group of people have made this world a worse place to live, more hate, more fear, people dying.
Not that group of people. Us, our civilization did that.
Mhm.
But okay, that group I accept for now. So this is where we agree. But you said in part, but I feel like you're being a little bit of I would like to have a more polite word, but I don't manage the language so much.
Hypocrite.
But no, a coward. Like you're conveniently saying partially agree. No, no. I think you fully agree with me, or you need to tell me what exactly you disagree.
You think I'm a hypocrite, I'm a coward.
No,
But
no.
I
I think you saying no. Don't distort my words. I said you saying I partially agree with you is a coward way to avoid agreeing. I want you to either agree with what I said or justify the parts you disagree. And I can be wrong. I have no issue being wrong. I'm wrong so many times. I can be wrong again. And you can tell me why, and I accept it, no problem. But I don't see the why now. I want to see the why. What and why do you disagree with this brief argumentation that I did?
you know Wow, Pio, you have a very interesting way to have a discussion about this subject that is not probably the same way I would have a discussion about this subject, just because
Yeah,
I,
that's why
I,
you get it wrong. Yeah, that's why you get wrong. You get wrong because you use the wrong method.
for
That's the
example,
justification
you
why you're
know,
getting wrong.
for example, when you talk, I let you talk. When I talk, you keep interrupting. For example, that's the difference.
No, I don't think I don't think I do.
Okay, okay. You ask me a question, I'm trying to answer your question for the third or fourth time, and you keep interrupting. It's very hard to have a conversation when I listen to you patiently, let you talk, and then when I start talking, you start interrupting again. That seems to me that somewhere in your belief system there's some insecurity. I'm not saying that out of disrespect.
All right,
You know,
all right.
if
But
you
can you
would
answer the question though?
you would not
Because I am the
constantly
one making a question.
be interrupting me when
No,
I'm trying to answer your questions.
no, you're being silly right now. I'm the one making the question. You're the one running. I ask you Why? And you're running, and now you're saying you are asking for the fourth time. No, you're not asking. You are answering, and I'm holding your feet to the fire, and you're kind of looking silly right now. It's not like that. I'm interrupting you. You are the one answering. So please answer.
Pioyo,
Do you even remember the question?
yeah, I do. Did you come out of the
What's the
closet?
question?
Did you come out of the closet, for example? Would someone would ask you that, hey, Pioyo, did you finally come out of the closet?
Can you please repeat the question because you you are changing the topic again?
Did you finally come out of the closet?
If I finally come out of the closet, no,
Yes. You see, do you understand what I'm trying to do? That's a very
no, I'm
this
not
this
sure you
yeah,
understand
yeah,
either.
yeah. You know, this is a very sneaky way people do debates. They ask you lead questions where you are put in a corner where you have to respond yes or no. But my question
Okay.
is
Do
saying
you feel I am like that?
that you are something that you're not. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to answer your
Do you think
question.
I ever did that to you? Do you think I
Yes,
ever did that to you?
yes, 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 yes.
When did I do that to you? But
P-
after
p- p-
before you change the topic,
mm,
you said why it's not working today. I said technological change plus a little bit of geopolitics. You said I agree partially, and I'm putting your feet to the fire, and I'm saying if you say partially, what part you don't agree,
okay.
and then you can refine all my flaws.
So, do you understand, Piaggio, what you are doing? Maybe you're doing unconsciously. Do you remember my first scenario about the people in the island? Did you ever answer that
Yeah,
question? No, you didn't. Did you answer the question about the
yeah, I did.
family? No, you didn't. Did you answer the question about the friends? No, you didn't. You don't want to talk about feelings. You don't want to talk about the God. You don't want to talk about any of the stuff. You want to ask questions, and you want your questions answered because you're trying to make a point across about this information that you believe in. So me just letting go that first example and just not pressing anymore about it, I'm okay. Don't answer the question. Let's not talk about it. But then you put me in a corner that I have to answer your question. I'm gonna do the
Do you
same thing
remember
as
what
you.
I told you?
I could do the same thing as you're doing, and I'm not doing it, but I could.
I'm not. I don't feel I'm doing it.
Honestly, hey Pioyo, I'm gonna be here doing live streams, man. I kind of like you because you sound like a very smart person. I can tell that you're like very analytical. You think, you reason. It's just that I feel that I could be wrong, that you're doing this very sneaky manipulation to lead the conversation where you feel more comfortable talking about certain subjects. You don't want to talk about the island. You don't want to talk about family. You don't want to talk about friendship. You don't want to talk about information, data about gods. You don't want to talk about
You may
any of
feel that
this.
way.
Go
You may
ahead.
feel that way. So if you feel
Yes, I
that
could be
way,
wrong. I could be wrong.
what in my example, yeah, what in the example that I gave you of the deserts of Arabia, do not align with your example of the island? What is the problem with this? The answer that I gave you, which is kind the island, that's the actual place, right? It's the kind of an island because it's a desert. It's hard to reach. The information came there. This good thing happened. Isn't that aligned with your island example?
I
If
don't
not,
know.
why exactly?
I don't know if you remember, but I accepted that having this information about God could be of benefit for a group of people, for an empire. Yes, I said yes. But this is not the same
Does that answer
example
your
as
island
the
example
people
or
in
not?
the island. It's not the same example. It's not. And I don't know why you took
What
it
is it?
from what I was asking and you took it to a place where you feel more comfortable with the information that you have already read about it and study and analyze and could present way better your position about the religion and the God that you believe in. Why would you do that? Pio, if you allow
Because
me, if you allow me just one moment,
you
in my,
said why? Do you want me to answer?
go
You
ahead.
ask me
I
why,
was going to
or
give you an
because
example,
you
but go
asked me?
ahead. Go ahead.
You asking me why would I do that? The answer to why would I use this
No,
real example
let me
is
rephrase the
because
question.
you can Google yourself.
Let me rephrase the question. What for? What for are you doing that?
Because it's a solid example that actually happened that you can attest yourself with facts to
So
your example.
so the family being a good family and being destroyed by a god is not factual.
It's kind of what's the right description? It is uh, I forgot the word in English is
Try in
it's not
Portuguese.
factual. It's kind of
Anecdotal.
it's kind of anecdotal. Yes, that's a little bit. But I don't reject anecdotal evidence. You can make a good case. It's good for a thought experiment. It's good for a thought experiment. But
I
I
was
also put you.
I
I think
allowed you.
I'll be honest with you.
Go ahead.
I'll be honest with you, right? So you're kind of pushing an outcome of this family, and with my life experience so far, I think what you're pushing is kind of plastic like, it's artificial because it's not really exist any true sense, this perfect family that gets split because of religion, except maybe some religions, because there are some shit over there, because but then it was never a perfect family to begin with. So it's kind of a plastic like, and every time I put some reality in your plastic like example, you get a little bit uncomfortable because it's kind of the emperor has no clothes moment, because your example is kind of, you need to come up with something better, because it's
So
kind of plastic like.
so you're saying that no family have ever been destroyed by the introduction of the information of a religion, in this case, let's say, for example, Islam. No family in the history of humankind.
Are you saying to me that no human being have ever died from eating an olive?
Wow.
You know what you're doing? You see what you're doing?
I'm
Like
asking you a question.
what well,
Pello,
if
the
if you
answer is
need a
yes.
yes or no, no, if you
That
need a yes or no, I would go for no.
so it has
I would
never
go for no.
happened.
I would go for no. If you want to put it in black and white, because if the family was perfect to begin with, I don't think that uh, this toxic thing that I cannot accept the religion of my son. It belongs to a perfect example like you did, right?
Well,
Depends on who is converting, right? Who is converting, right? So if it's the son in Islam, never happened. Never ever happened. If you have a good family and the son gets to be a Muslim, nothing ever breaks. I promise you that. Never happened, never will happen, ever. The son, because the teachings of Islam all reinforce the family.
well,
Look beautiful in
I
the
I
background.
I
The
think at
call
that
for prayer.
I think at that point right there,
I'm
you,
not sure if you. I'm not sure. I'm saying. Sorry. I will repeat. If the son is the one converting, the son, the teachings of Islam are impossible to break that family, because the teachings of Islam only make the son more patient and more caring towards the parents, because the rights of the parents in Islam are gigantic that the Western mind cannot even start to comprehend. So because you cannot comprehend, I kind of understand that you're having difficulty realizing that, but you, just so you know.
So a son converting in Islam, the family only breaks up if the father is an asshole.
Wow.
That's a true statement. You can take it to the grave. Go research whatever you want. Now, other religions maybe it's different because the son will start exorcising the father. You know that happens. Shouldn't happen. But I would also say, to be fair, even some wrong religions, especially Christianity, sometimes improve so much the son that the family unites back together. So it's not like a 100% outcome in any direction. But I
Mhm.
will tell you what do break a family: a complete nihilism. That breaks a family for sure. It's a 100% guaranteed divorce. Everybody gets to your corner. If you get into nihilism, brother, it is over. Any family, any group, any society, anything. Because then you start asking yourself, why do I bother? Like, why do I bother? I just take what I can and screw the rest. Now, I'm not sure if you're hearing the back, but the call for prayer is calling. I am in Mecca today, so I'm going to pray. I
Okay.
wish you the best. If you want to say me some brief thing, I could still hear, but please, I must go now. If
Let,
you
let
allow
me
me,
let,
please.
let me hear the background. Make a silence for a moment. Let me hear it.
I can't. Let's
I
see.
I I heard something back there. Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. It's a little far away.
yeah. But I could hear there
It's
for
coming
two
from the mosque.
seconds. Hey, Pioyo, thank you very much for the
Yeah, it's coming
conversation,
from the
man.
mosque.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, brother, one last thing just for you, right? Um, in any moment, I try to trick you into anything. If it was what you perceived, I can tell you 100% that was not my intention. And if even if I did that without perceiving myself, ask apology to you. Don't get anything bad from that. But I clearly didn't have this intention in my heart to trick you.
You're
I
awesome.
tested your link because wanted goodness for you. I went to you to talk to you because I want to test your technology, and I challenge your ideas only because I want you to come up with better ideas. That's all my intention. I
Awesome.
don't even want to convert you.
Thank you
I just
very
want you
much.
to make better objections.
Man, you the
Okay?
first person that I ever speak on a live stream, so thank you very much. That was fun.
Alhamdulillah. May
Take
the
care, man.
God that made you exist protect you.
All right, man. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. So let me see how do I close this.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how I can. Oh, there it is. Okay, I can close it here. Close. Where's the close button? Oh, here it is. No, are you still there? No, I think it's close. Okay. Wow, that was awesome. That was great. That was very good. Pioyo, despite us disagreeing pretty much about everything and trying to have a conversation, I think that was very respectful from him. That was very good. I appreciate it. Not at one moment he was disrespectful. He called me a little bit of names, but I don't get offended by that. I don't get offended very easily. But I think he was trying to make his point. I kind of understand where he's coming from, but I think that through this process of separating myself from any God, I have come to understand that it's very important to understand humanity, to understand human mechanics, to understand why people take the decisions that they take. So that is why I was trying to come up with these examples about group of people, and then I tried to make the the group smaller and smaller and smaller to kind of make my point across that whenever I couldn't even get what I was getting to with Piollo, that when you introduce a God or the information of a God to a group of people and that God is invisible, it's always going to be problematic, because there's going to people that are going to believe and people that are not going to believe. So that's why I created my own God, and I can show it to you right here. And so that's the God that I'm promoting because he's a peaceful God. Some people say that I'm making fun. I'm not. I'm not at all. I think I'm trying to make a point across, and this is a very good way to make that point across. But this is one of the things that I find extremely difficult to have a conversation. And I'm saying conversation with someone that believes in a God, because the person will always try to, in some way, try to convince you through this process of validation that what the God they believe in, the doctrine, the information that they believe in is the real one, is the correct one. So whenever a person starts preaching to me, I know that pretty much the conversation is over. There's nothing I'm going to be able to tell or say that is going to have this person have a have the realization that you have in a conversation with another human being. You're not trying to. I'm not trying to find a God. I don't need a God in my life that you're trying to convince me to believe in, you know. So whenever I hear someone starts preaching, I try to tell the person, hey, you're preaching to me. I don't need a God in my life. I don't need a book. I don't need a doctrine. I don't need salvation. I don't need instructions. I don't need morality. Nothing that comes from an invisible God. If you can point to the God and tell me what the God is, even then I will listen to what the God has to say. Because if the God starts saying that, hey, we have to kill someone because I need a sacrifice, or we have to get rid of some people that don't believe, I'm not going to follow that God. And that God could be a God. I'm not going to follow him just because I'm fearful of the God that is going to hurt me or something like that. Probably I'm BSing. Probably I'll I'll do the opposite when I see a God, like, man, this is real and he's upset. He's gonna start killing people. Probably I'll be like, man, I better do what he says for my own good and for my family's own good. But anyways, that was a very interesting conversation. I noticed that people were joining in on the live chat and then leaving, and like always, there's people writing in Spanish. So something tells me that probably my live stream is being promoted here in Panama and in Spanish speaking countries, because almost every time I make a live stream, someone in Spanish writes to me. So I'll think about it. Probably next live stream, I'll do one in Spanish, see what happens, just to test the waters, like clear waters. So, anyways, man, that was a very good conversation, more than an hour. I like to take 1 hour only. But when you have very good, smart conversations with other people, um, time flies by. So thank you to Pioyo. That was really awesome. Thank you for being respectful. And anybody that wants to call in anytime, man, I'll be happy to receive your call, to have a conversation. As long as you're respectful, everything will flow fine. So I'm out of here. Thank you for watching and see you on the next video or live.